Thanks, Ben. Oh, thanks, Shad. You're on the wrong side. I can't hear anything over here. Too many concerts. Hey, Risa, you want to give me a whistle? Hey, good morning. How is everybody? Doing well, thank you. Let's start off with some bucket filling. Ashley, you do need a mic. Oh, there's one right
Just
there.
wanted to say I'm really glad to be back.
We're paying you to say this every
3
week.
weeks, but like day one, I knew it was the best decision ever.
Who else?
Okay, I have to thank everyone who helped make Casino Night an awesome party last week. Thank you. I really do have a big long list, but I won't go into it. I'm going to give you all a personal thank you.
And to piggyback on that, thank you to you, Marita and Spencer and the whole events committee and everybody that showed up. You guys are an incredible group of people and you have some really amazing clients that donated a whole bunch of money. So thank you very much. Kristen. Hi. Do you want to stand up and introduce yourself?
I should. Okay. I'm Kristen Packer. I've been here for a long time, but haven't been here for like a year because I had a crazy pregnancy and then a crazy preemie baby, and he's here and he's great and he's learning how to be a real estate agent. And he's 7.5 months old now, but this is the first time I've been back to team meeting. But I wanted to fill buckets and say thank you to everyone who has always answered every question I had when I've been absentee, for letting me scream at you in the parking lot if I can park where I was parking. And I love being here, and having kids that's my big why. It's why I'm here. This is a surreal moment for me. Like, I can't believe I came here, we did it. Now I'm here with a baby, and I'm just happy to be here. Thanks.
Who else? Nobody? Broker Dave.
I'd like to thank the 5 people that did not call me this weekend.
Spencer.
I don't know if it's been said yet, but huge shout out to Marita and the events team for putting on Casino Night. Another amazing night, super fun. My clients loved it. Love seeing a lot of you there. So if you didn't make it this year, make sure you're there next year.
Thank you. Tamara.
I just wanted to thank Lee, who is on my finance committee, and she really should be heading it up. Well, she kind of is. But anyway, she's been amazing. So thank you for your help.
Thank you, Lee. We love you. Thanks for keeping everyone in line. Anybody else? Risa?
I want to thank Jake from State Farm at Real Advantage and Kristen for checking people in the freezing cold doorway at Casino Night the other night, and not having, they had the list, but I guess people didn't sign up, so they kind of went crazy for a while.
Holding it down and collecting checks. I love it. Thanks, guys.
But they were awesome because it was cold.
I want to thank Mickey Ann for picking up her cookies, Girl Scout cookies, after team meeting. You're my last one. But I do have some empty extra boxes. If anybody would like to buy $5 a box, I do have some spares.
You probably hit Kelly up. He didn't get enough at the grocery store the other day.
I feel like it's appropriate for me to admit defeat. In 8 years at Keller Williams, I've been to 2 client events, and I've always been real poo-poo about them. And I finally went to Casino Night, and it was actually fun, and my client had fun. So apologies to anyone I may have offended by never showing up.
All right, anybody else? Okay. New agents, guests, visitors. Kristen already reintroduced herself. Anybody else? No?
Sam introduced herself.
Samantha.
Samantha. It is Samantha. I just got publicly scolded with her eyes, and you did not see.
I'll publicly scold you. Samantha, tell us who you are.
My name is Samantha. I am here. I came with a tag team who they do covered land plays for like industrial and commercial. So I'm kind of going in that direction. And what else am I supposed to say?
That you're a boss.
I'm not actually. I just show up sometimes. I came over from Realty One. I've been doing real estate for about 10 years. And for whatever reason, I had this idea that if I came to Keller Williams, I had to wear pencil skirts and heels. And I'm really glad that everybody wears jeans. So that is a really good thing for me.
And only Mark, not you. So it'll be fine. Well, welcome. If you guys don't know Samantha and Jordan and their team over at TAG, please introduce yourselves. They're over in the corner, kind of between the Stern team and where Nate and Audrey sit. And you can't miss it. There's big signs on the windows, and they are here to help with any development, land acquisition questions that you have regarding large scale stuff. Okay. Is Sydney here? No. So Sydney wanted to pass this along today to someone that behind the scenes here is doing many, many jobs. And she always is very nice and has a smile on her face and is asking, how else can I help? And this cultural icon this week goes to none other than Miss Audrey Slay. You don't have to give a speech if you don't want to, but that's next week. Sean, you want to come tell us what's coming up education-wise?
I don't know how that thing works, and I don't want to learn now. So, okay, as we know, we got the listing presentation, or excuse me, listing competition going on. We're in week 3, I believe. So, good stuff. I know a lot of people are getting out and attending. I didn't see who was leading as a.
I think Barb Solly is still leading.
Barb's still our leader, huh? All right. So, well, look at her, still quiet and okay. Sorry, guys. Our goal is 60 listings. We're currently at 12, so I'd say a little bit behind the pace. But I know what the efforts we're doing now. Obviously, as we know in real estate, tend to manifest in 60 to 90 days. So even if you're not seeing the immediate results, keep plugging along. Good stuff's coming our way, guys. So, okay. And tomorrow at 12, is it 12:30? Yes, 12:30 to 2.
And I have a little note for tomorrow. So given the recent changes with everything and NAR's settlement agreement, Josh has offered tomorrow to pivot his class and do a full-on buyer presentation for all of you so that you can understand how to talk to your clients about buyer agency and still get paid. So make sure you attend so that you can get your buyer broker agreement signed correctly.
Okay. Well, shoot, I actually just went back and dug out shift to remember what shift tactic 7 was. So I guess we don't need that information.
Still learn that.
Yeah, it's still important.
Valuable
right?
information.
So, okay. And then on the 20th, which is tomorrow as well, I have a hard time remembering what day of the week it is. Kimber's doing her Glow Up series for repeat and referral business. I think with everything that we know that's coming down the pipeline since last Friday, it's important just to make sure those relationships we have with the people that already know, like, and trust us are just second to none. So make sure to go attend Kimber's class if you're not attending Josh's class. So, because they unfortunately are running it around the same time. So, okay, on Thursday we're doing our ALC meeting. So certainly anybody is welcome to come attend and see what we discussed, talk about for the future of the office, and obviously with everything going on, I'm sure there's gonna be lots of good conversations had this Thursday. And we talked about this as well. Thursday from 3 to 5, we like to do those. 1 second.
Is there a way that we could get the agenda for the ALC meeting? Is it possible to get to the agenda for the ALC meeting?
Yes.
Okay, cool. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we'll make that happen. Being an open book company we are, absolutely. We'll make that happen. And Thursday, as we know, we talked about this last week, Thursday between 3 and 5 is the best time to actually make contacts with people, not just get your phone calls in. So we're not doing anything from 3 to 5. If you don't have any appointments, come make some phone calls. Okay, we're excited to do this. We did this in January, but we're also doing it again this Friday morning at 8 to 9:30. If you guys want to come meet who our preferred partners are in our office, make some good connections. If you're always, people raise their hand in the Facebook group, hey, who has got a good, case in point, HVAC person this morning, right? Come meet the people that help us with our businesses, guys. ALC will be helping put on the breakfast, but just come attend, mingle, come meet the people that help us. So
Justin's also going to be giving a little introduction to how to make an elevator speech and ask for business. So if that's something you're struggling with in your real estate business, I would recommend attending on Friday as well.
There you go. Perfect. Okay, and Annie, fresh off having a tough listing appointment on Friday, learning experience, right? I just talked about it. So come attend, because she may have not gotten this one, guys, but she gets her more than her fair share. So come attend and we'll see what she's doing to have her business run very, very successfully. Yes, Lee.
I'll tell you why I picked Annie. I told her this morning. So Annie's been a realtor for 8 years. For the first 6 years that Annie was a realtor, Annie just she said it was a hobby, but it was more than a hobby, but it wasn't you said it was a hobby. Oh, jokingly, she said it was a hobby. But it was just referrals, people she knew. And about 2 years ago, she decided she really wanted to focus on making real estate a business. And I've watched her do that diligently these last 2 years. And a year ago, she decided she really wanted to just master the listing presentation. And as she said to me this morning when we were talking, it is a living thing and it's a work in progress. And as the market shifts and changes, so does your presentation. But I'm really excited for you to hear Annie's presentation. And she is very tech savvy and has a wicked sense of humor that I love. So please do come in and see Annie do her presentation. It's going to be awesome.
She's only top 500 realtor in the board, so you might want to come
She's
listen to what she has to
she's
say.
the number
so.
2 agent in Utah, you guys. Annie, you're not even laughing. Look. You're number 2, right? Yeah. Solid number 2.
A couple more things regarding our listing competition. So Mondays and Tuesdays, 9 to 11, we're doing in-office presentation or prospecting. So come, make sure you get some points so we can catch Barb Solly. And then the 27th, so next Wednesday, Josh will be teaching. Assuming, Josh, we're still on schedule for this?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
All right. Okay. Servicing listings and being data driven. So, guys, increase your listing to sold ratio. So we're not just taking listings, but we're selling them. Okay. Effectively communicate how to do that. Figure out what your schedule is, and then basically get it to your sellers. What's the right way to say this? It's their idea. It's their idea. So they take ownership of the listing, right? So okay. Okay. And as we all know, Justin teaches his once a month wealth building, and this month is when to fidouche, when to be selfish. So probably his best class, and that says something because he teaches some pretty damn good classes. So yeah, guys, this one's just basically when we have opportunities to get in front of sellers more often than most people in the world, right? So take a look at each opportunity and say, hey, is this a property I actually want to buy? Be the first buyer on your listings. If it doesn't make sense, fidouche it. Okay. And okay, I just came up with that phrase. So okay, next Friday. Hopefully that was appropriate. If not, I'm sure I'll get talked to you.
Borderline.
Okay. Okay. And Jeff's will be doing his listing presentation. So we have Annie this week. Next week we've got Jeff Morris doing his listing presentation. So okay. Then so Annie and Heather don't have to get up. I'll take one for the team. So. Okay, we had to move. Well, we wanted to move wind down because we had so much going on last week with the casino night and everything. So March 29th, 4 to 6 p.m., we'll doing wind down to warm up for spring cleaning. So anything we still need from vendors or anything like that? Anything to do with cleaning and improvement, landscapers, anybody like that. So if you know anybody, have them come down to wind down on the 29th. And I think that's all I've got.
No.
Oh, Bold.
One more.
Okay. And Bold. Who has signed up for Bold? Okay, we got a couple.
Who likes money?
I will be signing up. I just haven't done it yet. So, okay. And you guys, the first session is always complimentary. It's always free. So on April 8th, come check it out. See if it's a good vibe for you. If it's not, it's not. To each their own. But from what I hear, this guy's got great reviews. Gets a lot of production out of the people that come attend Bold with him. So come at least check out the first session on April 8th. So
yeah, his. Yeah, so it's a huge focus on listings. The gentleman, Steven, that is the coach for this round of Bold, his students that are coming out of his course are averaging 11 transactions during the 8 weeks of Bold. 11 transactions at a median price of $600,000. You guys, that's $150,000 plus that you could be putting in your pocket in the next 10 weeks. I would highly suggest that you consider attending, especially if you haven't taken this course before. And then
I'm Ryan Chupit.
John
I'm a listing
Vandergast
agent
is
over
coming
here
back
at Keller Williams Salt
to
Lake City.
present
I went to
NLP
John
version
Vandergast's
2.0. It'll be
NLP
a
class
two-day course
recently, and it
on
was
April
fantastic. The
11th
thing
and
that I
12th
really
here
liked
in
about
this
it was the
office, so you won't
five-step
have to
objection
travel.
handling
And
aspect. It kind of gives
at
you
the
a
end
principle to
of
rely
the
on when
second
you're
day, we're going to be
going between
doing
scripts and you
a
don't really know quite
meditation
where to
and
go.
sound bath that's going to be really amazing.
I'm Ryan Chupit. I'm a
So you
listing
can
agent over
learn a
here
whole
at
bunch
Keller
about the
Williams Salt
human
Lake City.
mind, and
I
then at
went
the
to
very
John
end, can
Vandergast's
solidify
NLP
that in your
class
brain
recently, and it was
with a really
fantastic.
nice meditation.
The thing that I
and sound
really
bath
liked about it was
experience.
the five-step objection handling aspect. It kind of gives you a principle to rely on when you're going between scripts and you don't really.
And of course, if you missed any of those dates or times, the Linktree QR code is right here, and all of those classes are listed for you. So scan that. I see a few of you are getting that. And that way you can add everything to your calendar. All right, the following agents have birthdays in March. If you haven't seen these people around the office, make it a point to reach out to them and tell them happy birthday, please. And our KW anniversaries for March, we've got Barb, 1 year in the business here, not in total. Eric Fontana, Elise Orlandi, Jamie Lewis, Ryan Edvelson, Austin Davis, Greg Fowler, Elizabeth on the Stern team, Risa, Rachel Rasmussen, Davis Wood, Milan, and Ryan Cannon, 14 years here at Keller Williams. Please congratulate all of these great agents for their company anniversaries. And now we have awards. So the cappers in February, please, if you're here, come up and grab your capper cube. We have Dave Bachman, myself, Mason Conley, Shad Selmos, Brooke Madsen, Mark Nicholas, Tamara Reaper, and Jen Worley. Please come get your awards. Oh, thank you guys, congratulations. So in case you don't know what capping is, once you've hit your company cap, for the rest of your KW anniversary year, you keep 100% of your commission. So congratulations to all of you. Next, we have our first listing, Ryan, congratulations. And first closings, Thomas and Barb, congratulations. For last month, February, the Stern team, we have Eric Fontana took 3 listings and Jeff Woodbury 2. And then that's the Stern team broken out. They took a total of 8 listings. And then for the individual agent, Jeff Morris, 3 listings taken, congratulations. And for the teams and the groups, the one group took 3 listings. Marari and Favero took 3 listings, and Brooke Madsen took 3 listings as well. Congratulations. And then I was busy also. The contracts written for the teams, the Stern team, Andrea with 4, Eric with 4, and Stephanie with 4. Give them all a hand. And on the Heap Madsen team, Brooke, 7 listings, Jeff, 2, and Lisa Edgington also with 2. Congratulations. And contracts written, I had 5 3/4, Ryan Cannon with 3, and Tamara with 3 as well. I really don't like being up there, so can someone like do more than that? Thank you. The Stern team, contracts closed, Eric with 4, and Stephanie also with 4. You're too far. And for contracts closed, Ryan Cannon with 3 units and Tamara Reaper also with 3 units. $1 Million month. All of these agents had $1 million months last month. Mason, Lisa, Mike Egan, Sean Erickson, Russ, Kelly Favero, Stephanie Grable, Brooke Madsen, Scott Marari, Tamara Reaper, and Alan Walker. And the House of Excellence, this is a luxury listing or a closing of Mason Conley, Mike Egan, Kelly Favero, and Ryan Cannon. Home runs, that's a contract written and a listing taken and a closing in the month of February. And we had Brooke Madsen, Dave Bachman, Jeff Heap, Jeff Morris, Kelly Favero, Mike Egan, Tamara, Rick, Ryan, Scott, Sean, Shad, and Sydney. The Crimson Club, so this is countywide, and it is listings taken, contracts written, and contracts closed. Myself, Ryan, and Tamara are leading the charge there. And then for teams, Marari and Favero, Peerless Way Real Estate, and Rock On Real Estate all leading there. And the top group, Stern Team with 63.4 units, Utah Roost with 18.6, and the Heap Madsen team with 18. And for the county, Salt Lake City took the entire county across all of the categories. For individual agents, that would be me. For the team, it is Marari and Favero. And for the group, the Stern team. Congratulations, you guys. And now we get into the awards for last year. For those of you that were down in Las Vegas for family reunion, we have glass for you now, but let us recognize you here within the office because that's important. So our top sales recruiter for 2023 was Mike Walters. Is he here? Hey, Mike, come get your award. Next one. And the top performing individual agent in our brokerage, Tamara, please come get your award. And another top performing individual, like we said, number 2, Annie, come get your glass. And our third place top performing individual is Mike Gable. Our top performing team, the Masons. Come on down. And Spencer and Andrea coming in second place. And our third place team, Hari and Rami. Congratulations. Oop, go back. The top performing group, first place, the Stern team. Top performing group, second place would be the One Group. And the Roost coming in at number 3. For our top performing luxury individual, Spencer. And our top performing luxury team, Scott and Kelly. They also won the Regional Luxury Award. The top performing commercial team, Shad and Austin. And also regional winners there. You better share. Our Rookie of the Year on a team or group is none other than John Bass. our Rookie of the Year individual agent is Taylor Westmoreland. And Lee, what can we say about Lee? Lee wins our Top Profit Share Associate Cultural Icon Award and the Lee Stern Legacy Award. You're gonna need a basket. These are the perks. You contribute enough, your award is delivered to your seat. Real Advantage, come tell us about title, and congrats again to everyone's awards. Hold on, one more. Oh, Stern Team got regional group for the whole year.
All right, looks like there's a couple new faces. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Jake Wood, sales manager for Real Advantage Title. Kristen is our lead escrow, and we just brought on Andy. Why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
Hi, my name's Andy Duggins. Know a lot of you all here. It was nice to meet you guys at Casino Night. I'm really excited to be back in Title. I was an agent for 8 years. Before that, I was an escrow too, but really excited to be back downstairs and getting to know all of y'all. And if you have any questions, my door is always open to you.
So for those of you who aren't aware, Q1 ends next week. So, all your hard efforts you're putting in now will probably pay out around summertime. So keep those efforts up. One of our focuses this quarter was to provide you, tools and information to, work your SOI. That's where 80% of your business typically comes from. So next quarter, we're going to be providing tools about social media to kind of help you stay on top of your social media presence, things like that. So I wanted to provide a couple last tools for your SOI, kind of stay in front of people, more automation. Do I just click next?
Yep.
So I don't know, some of you may know these websites, but Pop by Co and Bright Boxes, are both great tools to stay in front of your SOI. It's automation. They have different pricings where you can create different packages. It's always anticipating people's needs and wants. So this just helps keep you in front of people on a constant basis and not have to really worry about it. Brightbox is actually local. I think they're in North Salt Lake. Another good one is Salt Lake Gifting. All they have is a Facebook page.
Salt City Gifting is amazing. That's my friend Sarah.
Perfect. Okay. Wasn't aware of that.
And she does custom orders. So you can call her up and tell her, my clients like this kind of stuff, and she'll put together a beautiful basket for you.
Perfect. And then another one is Boomerang. They do a lot of coupons, magnets, kind of those types of things that can also help, keep you in front of your clients. And then Kristen had a title tip for you.
If you have a listing where they are getting divorced, but it's not finalized yet, we do either need both attorneys to provide us something that we can split the proceeds. If not, we do have to hold it in escrow. We can't just let the sellers tell us what they want. We do have to have something in writing, even if it's pending, which sucks because some sellers think, well, if it's not final, why do we have to do that? But it's a lawsuit that could happen if we don't disclose that.
Okay, thanks you guys. Okay, just a reminder that next week on the 26th, we are having a watch party here in the brokerage for this 4-hour class taught by Jay and Gary and Jason Abrams about the value that you provide to your clients. So make sure it's instead of team meetings. So we'll start at 11, it'll go until 3. We'll have lunch here. We're working on getting that CE certified. So it's 4 hours of CE, and you're gonna learn how to articulate your personal value to your clients so that you can still get paid after this whole lawsuit business. So make sure you guys attend that. And without further ado, let's bring up Broker Dave and let's chat about this fun little lawsuit and the settlement. I don't know, Dave, was there a lawsuit? So if you all want to scan this QR code, it's going to pull up all of the, I'm sure you got 7 emails yesterday like I did, but these are the changes that are happening that affect our MLS and how compensation is offered. Now you guys can follow along. So Dave, tell us.
Let me just
What's
start
going
off
on?
with something here real quick. How many of you guys have heard of RPAC? How many of you are contributors to RPAC? How many of you are major contributors to RPAC? What I'm going to talk about, folks, is first of all, let me talk about Utah. Utah, we have the largest percentage of major RPAC contributors in the nation. We have the largest dollar investment in RPAC in the nation year after year after year. And for those of you that don't know what RPAC is the Realtor Political Action Committee, or Realtor Political Action Committee. And basically what we do is we find people and interview every literal candidate for every position, political position that's out there. And we interview them to find out what their thoughts are about private property rights, home ownership, where the governmental influence on private property goes, small business and all that kind of stuff. And we support them in their elections. And because of that, we have a very real estate friendly state, okay? I start that off with, if everyone in the nation were like we are, this wouldn't be that big of a deal, and there probably would not have been a lawsuit, okay? So a lot of the stuff that, you know, I saw Mark go on Facebook and say, hey, let's start the conversation here. Dumbest thing you could have done. But anyway. but at least it was limited to a few people, as opposed to these ones that are getting national comments, okay? Don't believe Facebook, folks. Don't believe Facebook. They are coming from states. Yesterday, how many of you were on the call yesterday with the MLS? Okay. He said one stat in there that I really, really liked, and it says 39 states of the United States don't even have buyer-broker agreements, okay? Now think about that. With this litigation and this proposed settlement, all the changes that those states have to make, okay? And that's where the big buzz is the concerns, because people literally are changing their industry in 39 plus states. It has some effect. We've got some changes we're going to be making. But like Lee said the other day to me downstairs, some of you don't have to do a lot different because of the settlement. Some of you have to. We talk about the rules. When I do an expert testimony thing, what I'm doing is comparing the rule books and the different laws and see how agents' actions do it. And for example, there's a lockbox rule that each one of you signed when you got access to the lockboxes that says you're only going to access those lockboxes to show houses to clients. Clients means there's got to be an agreement in order for you to make that. Okay, so a lot of you, well, hopefully not a lot of you, but in our market, a lot of people have been out showing houses to people who are not clients. You've actually been violating that, right? If you weren't, there's no change. Right now, we have to, in order to access a property and actually show a property, you have to do what you're supposed to have been doing anyway, having an agency conversation with these people, okay? The trick now is you have to basically prove your worth. Why do these people want to hire you? What are you charging? What are they getting? A basic conversation, right? Some of you that don't know what your worth is or why you get paid what you are asking for, you've got some learning to do, right? And so that's the value proposition. Sharpen your tools. For those people that have actually been going into that conversation and saying, this is what I do, this is how much I charge, this is, you know, all that, business as usual, right? So again, I appreciate Lee saying to some people, this literally isn't going to be any change other than BAC won't be on the MLS. And before you guys all get all nervous about that, Shad, commercial properties. Are the BACs on the MLS? No difference, folks. You do have to make another call. If you expect to be paid, if this person is cooperating, you're going to have a conversation with the other agent, right? Well, I like to have a conversation with the other agent at the beginning of my transaction anyway. Okay, so what's different? You're being told to. What's different is 39 other states. This is a whole world rocker. Okay, to us guys, just do what you're supposed to do. And we've got some tweaking. There's going to be some forms changed. There's going to be some things like that. We'll deal with it. Lee reminded me when I got into real estate, I told her that there was no agency thing. She corrected me and saying, no, actually, when we got into real estate, everybody represented the seller.
Yep.
Everybody represented the seller. The buyers brought the suit, say, wait a second. Why am I working with somebody who represents the opposing team? Agency happened. Fast forward 3 or 4 years for both Lee and I, divided by 2. Suddenly now the sellers are saying, hey, wait a second, why am I paying them? Okay. Would have been no problem had we had a listing agreement in 39 other states that basically said, you're paying me the commission, Mr. Seller, and you're allowing me to share it with somebody else. You were not paying them, you were paying me and allowing me to share it. Okay, that's the way we're set up. That's what the court wants us to do. But because of these 39 other states, they're asking us to do it differently than we've been doing. Okay, not differently, just publicizing it differently. It's not going to be on the MLS. There's not going to be a BAC. How many of you actually show properties based on what you're going to get paid? Okay, no change there. Okay, how many of you actually start to write an offer and look at the MLS listing and you go, oh, dang, I didn't realize it was a lesser commission.
Yeah.
Yeah, no different. As a matter of fact, the difference is now you know what your commission is going to be up front, right? You're going to sit down with the buyer agency, because you can't take those people out without the agency agreement in place. You're going to negotiate your commission based on that. And whatever you put on the form is the maximum that you will be paid from anybody. So anybody that puts a BAC, or excuse me, a buyer broker agreement together with a 0 in there on how much they are going to be paid, as we've talked about numerous times in the past, don't do that. I'm just looking over because I can. There are some of you folks, if the buyer is not going to pay you anything, it's easy to get that form signed, right? That's dumb. That literally is dumb. And so when you go in and you talk to your client about or your potential client, this is what I'm going to do for the money, and this is how I'm in, this is how it's going to all work, and all this kind of stuff, and you're agreeing to pay this, which is a conversation you should have been having anyway. They're just now telling you to have that conversation. And don't limit yourself, guys. I would rather put 4 to 5 to 6% on a buyer agency agreement if I have a value proposition that I can defend. This is the reason I charge more. This is, you're getting better service. This is the value I'm going to put, rather than put 0 or 1 and find out later that the seller was actually willing to pay you 3 or 4. You limited yourself to that 1, right? Value proposition. Know why it is you're getting paid what you're being paid. Make sure those forms are filled out right. As far as the offering on the MLS is not going to be in the market of offering fees. That's the only thing they're doing, taking it away. Doesn't mean we can't put on our site. I agree. I absolutely agree.
Horrifying.
You're going to have to learn this if you're really going to. I know. It's going to change by the time you hit elementary school anyway. And these are constantly changing, so there's still a lot of unanswered questions on how exactly this form will look and all that. But a lot of that, folks, comes from our contributions to RPAC. As we sit in these forms committee meeting, we have to get those forms written by the AG's office. The AG's office then approves what we've written, and it goes to legislature for actual law, which is where the relationships that RPAC actually developed really come into play. Okay, we are a realtor-friendly state. All the way up to last term, Gary Herbert is a realtor, was here. I don't know what the heck Cox does, but Gary was right there, okay? The legislators, a ton of people are friendly to our business, and we can have open conversations on why this is going to hurt or why this is going to help, and here's what we've been doing, and we agree that this would be better, but it might hurt this class of buyer. There are some issues that we're going to have to work through. There's no doubt. First-time home buyers, people with very little money down that need high seller incentives. We're going to have to work through that. We are.
This is a cry from the future. He's like, no.
As he said, we're working with the lenders right now to try to make Fannie, Freddie, FHA, and all that some changes in that to where buyer agent commissions and a seller concession are financeable, much like they have been before. They're working out the details on how exactly that will happen. For right now, if they are maxed at 6 and you're taking 3 or 4 or 5, that limits the amount that the seller can actually pay on behalf of the buyer to affect their loan, which is going to affect those buyers. And we don't want these changes to affect the buyers. This was supposed to be to help them. And so I can't imagine that that's not going to be a productive conversation on why you should be on that page, but those conversations haven't happened yet because this settlement proposal just happened 4 days ago. But that kind of gives you an idea. There's your groundwork.
So if you guys want to be kept up to date at a very high level from one of the people that is very involved in these conversations, Broker Dave, when do they have your undivided attention?
There's this little thing that on Tuesday morning, Witsy, you can call me anytime, but Witsy, very seriously, guys, I don't know how I got this hat, but this last weekend, Friday, this ruling came out. My phone started lighting up, and a few of them were from you, but a few of them were from other brokers that were like going, "What does this mean? What does this mean?" Former agents, "What does this mean? Call your broker." Well, I don't even know who the broker is. What does this mean? What it means, guys, is we're going through a change that certainly should not be catastrophic if you've been doing real estate right. It's a few additional forms, maybe, and a different conversation, maybe, from what you have been doing, but not from what you should have been doing. Tuesday mornings, we have Witsy.
What does that stand for, Dave?
What if they say yes? Guys, it seriously is a free-for-all where Annie answers most of the questions and I just facilitate. She is the number 2 in the state, just saying. And I realize that most of you would rather be having her lesson presentation here right now than me. So anyway, yeah, let's see. Come on in on Tuesday mornings. It really is a free-for-all. Questions you're having, if it's about business, it's about the industry, if it's about anything that I can help with. What it does for me is everyone can hear that conversation rather than repeating and repeating and repeating. But Witsy's available on Tuesday morning, 10 to 11.
Okay, thanks, Dave. Does anyone have any questions? Melanie, I know you had one.
Yeah, you had to ask that, didn't you?
Yeah, sorry.
I'm going to start back here.
Thanks. Hey, my biggest question that I've had through all of this on this exclusive buyer broker agreement, we're putting a percentage in, which I have been. I've been having the conversation, but it's always come with if the seller is offering, or the seller's brokerage is offering a lesser amount, I'll negotiate with them, or we'll get to that point, right? So you're saying don't sell yourself short. We can't accept more. Put in 4-6% so we can get whatever we negotiate for ourselves. But we are not allowed, as we were instructed yesterday, to include that as language is that we will be compensated with what the seller's brokerage is willing to pay. We can't write that down. So this turns into pretty much a gentleman's agreement with our buyer that we will accept less than 6% because we're trying to maximize what we can be paid. So if I put 3% and they're offering 3.5, they say you can't modify that. You can't accept that. My buyer is saying, well, if they don't pay it, I have to pay it. And I'm saying, no, but I can't write that down anywhere. So essentially it's turned into a gentleman's agreement. How do
It's
we?
a secondary conversation, Melanie.
Correct.
Yeah,
So I'm having the conversation, but the contract states that they
Okay.
have to pay it.
Here's how I look at it. Okay. Number one, the seller's not getting my service. As a matter of fact, the seller is probably going to be disadvantaged because I'm so awesome. I train with Annie. She's like going, shut up. But at the end of the day, I'm not sure how title people are going to be looking at these on the settlement statements. But it is probably going to be a buyer commission on the settlement statements. So it's not coming from the seller. You are negotiating your fee with your buyer, period. It's no longer going to be, and we agree to accept less if the seller is ... It's now, Mr. Buyer, this is the rate that I charge. So this is the services that you're going to get from my employment. We hope to offset that from cash from your pocket through negotiations with the seller, which will now be right in front of everybody, visible in the contract with the additional commission addendum, okay, which will have some tweaking on it. But at the end of the day, you're paying it. You know, you're going to be paying it from either cash reserves in your pocket, or you're going to be paying it from seller concessions, which you're no longer allowed to be used for loan things or whatever, but you are paying me. That's the part that they said hasn't been clear. And in Utah, technically it has been clear because the seller pays their listing broker, the listing broker shares it with, okay?
But why didn't you change it that we could put 3% if they're offering 3.5, we could accept that?
No, it says that that's one of the stipulated rules or settlement offers is an agent will not accept more than is on the buyer agency agreement
That we can accept less.
from anybody.
But we could accept less.
Yeah, you can do an addendum to your buyer broker agreement that says, you know, no, you can modify an agreement between you and me. You know? So say, for example, I put on a buyer agency agreement that I'm going to pay, or you're going to pay me 5% for my services, and here's just everything that I'm going to do for you. And I get my value proposition where they say, geez, 5% is a screamer deal. Okay. I go out and I look at properties, and we find out from these dang lenders that all of a sudden charge too much money and they want 4% for the loan costs. That 4% plus my 5% is too much for the buyer to pay out of pocket. We ask the seller for some help. Our commission to our buyer is now a buyer closing cost that is now grouped with the loan costs that have been standing on their own all the time. And so we're going to ask the seller to pay X%. If the lender has limited that at 5, I can turn around and modify my agreement with my buyer. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I can't get a little bit from you and a little bit from you and all of this stuff to come up to the 6%.
So the suggestion is to start out with the exclusive buyer broker agreement, put something in there, say 5 or 6%, and then when you get to the final amount, you can always negotiate it down further so that the buyer has less than closing costs.
Yeah, in a roundabout sort of kind of way.
It depends on your value proposition, right, Dave? Like
Yeah,
how much do you charge to work with me?
If I were to sit down with a buyer and say, I really suck at doing this, but I'd like to charge you 7%, he's probably going to say, I can probably find a better deal out there, right? Okay, so you're going to have that conversation about, here's what I do. What do you guys do for the money you charged with a buyer? Seriously, what do you do? real quick here, and I don't want to make this run any longer, but give me a couple of things that you do to earn your money. Quick. Negotiate contracts. I drive. I spend my gas. What else? You know, guys, you need to, that should just roll off. Your value proposition should just roll off.
Yeah, Ben,
I work with Andy.
When's the BCC get eliminated from the MLS?
July.
July?
Yeah. The buyer agent commission as published on the MLS as it goes away in somewhere in mid-July. At that point in time, we should probably have in place, which I'm sure we're working on, another place that we can individually publish what we are offering, if in fact we're offering.
Hey, guess what? Word on the street is you could probably just link your personal website on the MLS because you can advertise your commission offering there on your own personal website.
That I think is right, but they actually said something yesterday that leads me to believe that we can't, because they're actually saying that we can't link to a place at the website. You can say, go to, kw.com in there, but you can't create the link to take you over to a published offer of commission.
Sure.
You can advertise within the brokerage. You can put it on your personal websites. You can do whatever. I mean, even the Home Hub thing that we send out on Fridays, we can put up there. Here are the ones from KW Salt Lake, and here are the ones from KW Mid Valley, and here's the one from KW South Valley, and this one's willing to share. Seller has agreed to pay 4% of buyer agreements. I mean, there's ways we're going to get it out there. Again, one of the questions that we haven't had a chance.
Everybody's looking at this in one way, right? So if you were to roll back 12, 15 years ago when Zillow was just starting to come around, if this was in place, Zillow would be decimated in the market, right? So everybody in here that's worried about their commission and the brokerage cooperative sharing agreement that is in place, if there was full disclosure from the get-go, all of those Zillow agents would have been out of business quick. This is a good thing. This is a good thing for the consumer. It's a good thing for the industry. You need to wrap your head around, how do I improve my value proposition, and how do I provide real service and expertise and bring that to the table to be compensated? And if you can't start to wrap your head around that, good luck. I'm not going to teach a class on it. Just wrap your head around it.
And Ben's absolutely right, guys.
Almost had him, Emily. You almost had him.
Again, the conversation in Missouri, the sky is falling. Oh my God. We have it so good because of the way we have been set up for so many years. Your changes comparatively are minimal. Don't let it scare you, and don't read the other 300 posts on Facebook. They don't have anything to do with the real world. And what's really funny is you read some of those things and oh, they're going to limit this and we're no longer going to be able to do that. And then that becomes the truth in the next post. Well, I heard that, and it's taken on a life of its own. We're not going to publish it on the MLS. You have to do what you're supposed to be doing anyway. There's just somebody else telling you to do it. And that's basically what this all boils down to. Not trying to be Pollyanna, folks, because there is going to be some change. I agree with Ben. It's good change. It's good change.
Burger Dave, Justin, on your right.
I think the reality, correct me if I'm wrong, but when they changed the HUD-1 settlement statement to where loan officers could make money on the front and the back, they had to like standardize the rate sheet. Loan officers made more money. What are you seeing right now? Every time you put a property under contract, you see actually what you're going to make. I think the difference is with every offer, we're going to say, we're going to standardize the commission that you're going to get as a buyer, right? You're going to say, write me offer, you're going to pay us 3%, right? Is that correct?
Fees are negotiable.
So in effect, you're going to make more money. You just have to get better at asking for it, correct?
You need to, right now, again, when you're putting zero on a buyer broker agreement, they don't expect you to be making zero by working on them, right? So you're creating a confusing form. Right now, we're eliminating the confusion. Just that easy. A lot of people are putting zero on their buyer broker agreement. A lot of people, as Brad was talking yesterday, put the buyer broker agreement in with the REPC when you send it off to DocuSign for signatures on an offer on a house you've already shown them that you shouldn't have because you don't have that agreement. Okay? Do things in the right order like the rules say we're supposed to. It shouldn't be that big of a change. And for those of you that are already doing it, this isn't that big of a change. For those of you that are not, get serious about your career.
Okay, thanks.
Everybody's going, no, I didn't get my question.
All right, let's bring,
I actually feel sort of stupid for asking this question, but that probably means there's somebody else who's also confused. So just because it doesn't say on the MLS what the buyer agent commission is, doesn't mean that it's not there. Like a seller can still offer that amount. You just have to ask the question up front.
Absolutely.
Like I've always put 3% on my buyer broker saying like, hey, just a heads up, if they're offering something abysmal like $500, we're gonna have a conversation about this. But do we think, like, do the people that are smarter than me think that it's gonna be that sellers aren't gonna be offering buyers commissions? Because that's what worries me, is because I work first-time home buyers west side, they cannot afford, even if I could give all my value all day long, there's literally not the money there, especially in this particular climate. So like, do we think that sellers are going to stop offering the buyer agent commission?
No, my conversation with my seller, and this is one of those things that just kind of rolls out of my mouth, so if anybody wants to say, repeat it, don't. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, let me explain. There's been a lot of changes in the real estate market about the offer of compensation to buyers, agents, and all that kind of thing. What I'm here to do is negotiate my commission with you for these services that I'm going to provide, and here's what I charge, and that's what's going to go on this line. If I were you, Mr. Seller, I would also plan on compensating a buyer's agent because we would like to incentivize anybody out there to show your home. Law of averages says the more showings we get, the better chance we have to have offers or multiple offers, which is ultimately going to bring you your best line. So in the back of your mind, even though we don't have to put it on this little form that's going to go across the MLS, in your mind, I would like you to consider 2, 3, whatever percent that you would like them to consider. And Mr. and Mrs. Seller expect it, because in our market right now, sellers are being asked for concessions, and a lot of those concessions are already figured into this list price because of the CMA that I just presented to you. And so that's the only thing we're not doing, is we're not putting it on the DAC line on the MLS. I don't think it's going to change much about how the sellers think. It's going to force buyers agents to have a conversation with their buyers, and it's going to probably change the conversation with the seller, but I don't think a lot of things are going to change.
And did I not read it correctly that there is going to be a field in the MLS for concessions where a seller can list out
They're going to
concessions
add
they're willing to
another
pay, which
field?
can be used for?
non-compensation related concessions. So get creative with that however you see fit.
Yeah, and so if you, for example, seller has reserved 5% for concessions, and then in that little box, the only thing you've got checked is a $400 home warranty, duh. What were they planning on paying with the other? Yeah.
I'm sure you guys will come up with this, but for now, best practices, you say, have a conversation. We're already having a conversation, but like, what's good enough for you? A text or verbally? Like if I am gonna write an offer and I wanna verbally confirm, like, what are you offering compensation-wise?
There's a form for that where you can, so the conversation is Mr. and Mrs. Seller's agent, whoever it is. Are you offering a buyer agent compensation? They say yes. And then if you're good with that, right, if you don't need to negotiate it further, you use the commission addendum that's on the MLS to dictate how the seller is compensating your buyer, who in turn is compensating you.
In the commercial world, there is no MLS. Very small percentage of the commercial world actually published on our MLS anyway, okay? So what you're asking is, how do commercial people do it, okay? Chad, how do commercial people do it?
So first conversation I have with the listing agent is, what are you offering as a procuring brokerage fee? And we figure that out. We send escrow instructions and get it done.
An extra phone call.
Do you want to start doing that in practice now or wait until July?
Well, Yeah, I'd like I say, I don't want to see the world rock in the mid-July. You know, I would like to see us take the leading edge, and so there is no change. I personally think this is better, like Ben said, for our industry, for the consumer. I do, but I see this as an incredible opportunity for you to get the jump on your competitors. Okay. There's some people that don't even know this conversation is going on and probably won't surface until June. Okay. Well, they're going to be so far behind that it's going to be silly. And those listings and those buyers can be yours. Okay. It's a great opportunity.
I just wanted to say that Senator McKay proposed a bill to get rid of our disclosure status as a state last year, this spring, February. So that's important as we're talking about this, because he's trying to invite the Zillows and the CoStars to all that stuff.
Yeah. And just so you know, Utah is a non-disclosure state by practice, not by statute.
Yep.
Okay. There's no rule that says we can't disclose. The only repository of sold information has been in our database that is owned by our association, and we're not giving it up to anybody. But the more people, for example, and this is completely out here, the more people share sold information with other entities, they are creating a database that at some point in time with enough seasoning will become more accurate and will be direct competition with you. And so that data is everything. And again, we are by practice, not by statute. Okay. So anything for Mr. McKay to propose to change something, he can't tell us you have to share your personal information, and we're not giving it up.
Okay. Thank you, Dave. We want to welcome up Nora from K-Spaces Design. She is our sponsor for today.
Oh, where's our second mic? Oh, right.
All right, hello everyone. Good afternoon. A little bit about myself. I'm the owner of K-Spaces Staging and Design. And growing up, I was the oldest of 9 kids, so I've been raised to be pretty independent because both of my parents worked when we were growing up. And my father was always in new construction and remodels and whatnot. And so I've always had this appreciation for really nice houses. And along with my independence and that appreciation, I've always wanted to build my own staging company, and here we are.
I'm Quincy Custy, Nora's husband. She owns the company. She does all the work. I just come out on days like today to present to you guys. So look to her for everything else, but I'm just here to talk to you a little bit. So home staging, let's talk a little bit about that. You guys are obviously familiar with home staging. You sell houses all the time. But what are some of the issues that we're seeing in the market right now? And we see these issues just as much as you guys do. Things are taking longer to sell, sometimes a little faster, sometimes a little slower, not like it was a couple years ago though. And why is this happening? Well, at the end of the day, the buyers aren't seeing the value in the home, right? They're either giving low offers or no offers. And that's for many reasons, but some of the reasons that we can help with is there may be some minor defects that's really catching their attention, or they're focusing, like focusing in on defects that are in every home, right? Sometimes the house is empty. There's nobody living in it. It's a vacant home. Those don't show very well. On the flip side of that spectrum, if the home is occupied and really messy, it also doesn't show very well. I'm sure you've tried to sell homes like that, and we'll show you some pictures of that. Unique rooms. Maybe there's a really small living room, or maybe the kitchen dining area is kind of an awkward shape or awkward size, and the buyer doesn't really see how that can turn into their home instead of just being a house. These are all things that we can help with. So here's some before and after pictures. These are not the after picture, I promise you. Nora does a much better job than that. So we'll spin through these, and I mean, you can look at these houses, and these are houses you've tried to sell, and you've probably had that conversation with the seller that you need to clean this up a little bit. Like, we can't be showing people this. The pill bottles on your counter are too personal. You need to put those in a drawer. So there's a room there. It doesn't look like very much space in there. Here's a living room, but it looks pretty. I mean, it looks really empty. It's nice and clean. But what's going to fit in there? Will the buyer's couch and their chairs actually fit, or is it only skinny enough, or is it wide enough for a couch? These are questions they're going to have, and it may be a make it or break it type of thought in their head that that living room's too small. I'm going to go with a different home. Here's a downstairs back basement bedroom. Probably one that you just shut the door on in your home showings. You don't really want to bring somebody down here. This is a really nice kitchen. It's not on the wrong side of the slide deck, though. This is still a before picture because we can make a lot more happen with this kitchen. This can go from a really nice part of the house to the wow factor, the part that you want to bring every buyer through and spend some extra time in to make sure they really understand what kind of value is in this home. So what's the solution to those pictures that I showed you? Well, use home staging, right? And that's why we're here to talk to you about this. And you all probably know that anyways, but it can really help show the functionality of the home. It can distract from the common defects that are always in homes. We don't want to hide defects. We're not about being dishonest, but we're about giving the home a fair chance to show as it should. All these homes have defects. We can help the buyers really see how it should feel more like a home and not just a house. The empty houses, the vacant houses, they feel bare bones and pretty plain. You want to help them understand that this can be your home, actually. Overall, it can look more appealing. So here's that first picture again. And it can turn into that. That's the same bedroom, right? But way more beautiful. It really shows off the natural light. The artwork actually matches the room. And it can show that just this can be your bedroom. It can look like this. Here's that same empty living room. It will, in fact, fit both the couch and the chairs. So we know that. We put that one to rest. And again, it looks like a beautiful living room. Here's that back basement bedroom. Turns out it's not in the back basement part of the house. It's actually up front. Beautiful light coming through the window. Now it's in the upstairs, so it's gonna be hard not to show this. And you want to show it now. I mean, it's a beautiful looking bedroom. Here's that kitchen, right? This kitchen looks pretty nice. Like I actually wish this was in our home right now. And I really wish this was in our home, like hands down. This is a beautiful kitchen. Bring your buyers through this and show them what this can be. So now you know why home staging, why us, why K-Spaces, specifically why Nora. Nora owns a small company. We're a small local company, and we're working hard to build and grow. You're not paying off some huge corporation that's nationwide. We're a small company that you're really helping out. As such, we can offer a lower initial cost. We've actually tweaked our pricing structure to give you a lower upfront cost, so then you're not shelling out money for a full month at a time. We only have you pay for 2 weeks at a time and then a weekly renewal fee after that, rather than paying for a full month that you might not get back. Nora's style that she uses is very universally appealing. There are very, very few homes that she can't do. So I would challenge you, rather than assuming she can't stage your home, to call her and challenge her with staging that home. She can do it. The clients we have are coming back and back and back. So they come to us once, they see what we do, they see the value, they come back again. We want to invite all of you here to be those clients coming back and back again and again, because we add so much value to the home you're trying to sell. 5-star Google rating, it's really hard to do, right? Maybe only 16 reviews, which is still a fair number of reviews, and it's 5.0 stars. That means not a single one has been below 5. The question you're really all wondering is, how much does this cost? It's complicated, and it's not more, it's more than just a quick statement can say. We have brochures that you can pick up that'll say all the same information. But this is just a quick rundown. So starting at $1,200 for a partial, $1,700 for a full stage. And then I really want to draw your eye to the bottom of the screen here where it says design consultation. Maybe your buyers aren't up for a $1,200 or $1,700 cost, but they really want to do, you really want to help them do what they can to make their home show better with what's in there right now. Nora can come out, she can take a look at the home and then do a consultation and give a written statement of what the buyers can do to help show their home better. That's really low cost. That's starting at $200. What we find this does for the realtors we've worked with so far is it allows us to be the bad guy. So you walk into a home that you're trying to sell, and you want to build a relationship with a seller so they continue to come back to you again and again, right? But you got to tell them that they got to put that away. It's too messy. Take your personal pictures off the wall. It looks kind of odd. But all that is difficult stuff for a seller to hear. Call Nora. She'll come in there and she'll tell them all that stuff. You won't be the bad guy. You're bringing in a professional, and she'll be the professional, and she'll be the bad guy. She can take that hit for you and tell them what they need to hear, because they need to hear it sometimes. I mean, some of these houses are really bad. So that's what we offer here. And then finally, we have a monthly newsletter. Comes out maybe a couple times a month. Scan that QR code, sign up. We do a drawing from the new signups every month. So and hand out a gift card. So any questions?
If you come out and already do a $200 council, and they end up choosing to have you stage, you credit that $200 to the staging?
Yeah, yep.
Anybody else?
On a full stage, what is that? How many rooms is that? Are you talking full house or?
So the full stage would be all the main areas. So the living room, dining room, kitchen, and then the master bed and bath. Yep.
Anybody else? Questions? Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. If they have other questions, you guys are going to stay, right? Okay, thank you so much. All right, quickly, because we ran over time. Wants and needs. Kirsten, and then Hannah.
I've got a condo going on the market on Thursday downtown. It's in the Uffins condominium building. It's across the street from Pioneer Park next to Caputo's. It's super nice, top floor, south facing and west. It's got tons of light, floor to ceiling windows. It was a 2-bedroom. The owner took the wall down, made it one huge, large primary with a custom closet. I think that was a huge advantage. It's all been remodeled, brand new remodeled bathroom. So keep an eye out for that and bring me some buyers if you got one. Oh, sorry, $395.
They do allow rentals, just not nightly.
I still have my glamorous mobile home
Oh,
up in
Hannah.
Pleasant View. I know your buyers are really looking to come in, and guess what? We can do an open house for them every weekend. So come on through up in Pleasant View at 283. Also, a lot of people asked me last week about the self-employment retention credit, the tax credit. You guys can get up to $32,000. 2020 is closing as of like 2 days, in 2 days. So if you guys want to fill it out, it takes you about 10-15 minutes to fill out the form. Let me know. I've got a QR code to make it easy. But it gets you up to $32,000 for basically COVID issues that happened in 2020 and 2021 for self-employed individuals. Come talk to me if you guys need questions answered.
Okay, who else?
Sorry, I just want to say one more thing. On my condo, I know that there's caps on rentals. The owner was renting it, so I'm sure he probably still has his rental capability that could transfer. So if anyone has someone that's looking for a long-term, no short-term.
Audrey, what we got on Zoom?
Lisa Dorelli, she's got a 2-bed, 2-bath condo over 1,300 square foot next door at Brickyard Condos for 100K.
Right there. Next door, literally, right there.
Oh, I was like, what? 1-car garage, 3 patios, open house this Saturday, going live this week.
Okay. Heather?
Mill Creek property just rolling down the hill on 1300 East, 2-bed, 2-bath.
Come be my neighbor.
On 0.31 acres, 2-car oversized garage, going live probably next week. Or if you want to come see it this week.
It's a historic farmhouse built in 1912. I looked it up, and it's got really, really good bones, and it's right around the corner from me. So come be my neighbor. I think 525 is what she said.
I have a condo going live tomorrow in Draper, 2-car garage, 2-bedroom, just over 1,500 square feet, will be 445. And then if anybody wants an open house this weekend, it's a $1 million house in Harriman.
Call Angela Henderson, she's looking. Call Angela Henderson, she's looking.
I'll actually need open house this weekend for a grand opening on a West Jordan Rambler with a half-finished basement, and it'll probably be around $560.
Justin.
If anybody works in St. George or they have an investor buying a house today, it's a flip, single family in Santa Clara. I would, not really a wholesaler, but I would sell it if somebody really wanted it. I'm buying it, I'd sell it about 365 and it's worth about 525.
There you go. Anybody else? All right, go. Oh, Ryan.
So I need 3-bed, 2-bath, 2,000 square feet, West Valley, up to 570. So
There you go. Anybody else? All right, go forth and be productive.